Hey everyone, it's Amanda, and today I am going to be doing a wrap-up of the books that I have read before the Booktubeathon since my last wrap-up, and the books I've read during the Booktubeathon up until now. So I had filmed a vlog for day 4 and was going to put it up. I uploaded it to YouTube like 3 times, and for some reason it would upload but then it wouldn't process. It never completed the processing on YouTube, so I don't know if it's a problem on my end or on YouTube's end, or the file was corrupted or what, so that video probably will never go up, but that's okay. I didn't do any filming yesterday or today. I did kind of need a break from doing that. It was fun and I really enjoyed it, but it's just been a rough week. If you've watched my vlogs, you'll know why, especially there's been a lot going on in my life. So I just wanted to take a little break, and so now I'm just gonna film this. So before the Booktubeathon, the first book I'm going to show is Babysitters on Board by Ann M. Martin. This is the Babysitters Club Super Special #1, and I said in a previous wrap-up I had read one of these. These are so much fun. They're like guilty pleasures. They're just books I loved in my childhood. This one, the babysitters go on a cruise and they end up going to Disney World. It's a lot of fun. Here's why I like these. I forgot to mention this. There is a blog or a chat room or a message board, whatever you want to call it. If you search it on Google, if you like Babysitters Club books, or you did, you can search it. It's BSC Snark, and they go over every single book in the series and they basically kind of rip them to shreds. They dissect the books, and it's adults like me that loved the books when we were kids, and now we're reading them as adults and kind of seeing them in a different light. It's just so much fun. It's so funny. I love reading those. So I actually read these books just so I can go on there and read what people say about them. It's a lot of fun. So that was this one. I think I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It's actually pretty good for a Babysitter's Club book. I also read Armada by Ernest Cline. I received this from Blogging for Books in exchange for an honest review. I really enjoyed this book. I loved Ready Player One. That one, a lot of people compare this to that because it's the same author, and it has similar tones to that, but it's very different. I was a little bit hesitant to read this because I'm not a gamer and I knew this was about video games, but it really doesn't matter. You don't have to be a gamer to appreciate this book. It was just really an enjoyable story. I loved the main character. I liked that the main character was a male narrator, and I liked how the problem was solved in the end. It wasn't what I thought was going to happen. It went down a different road, which was really nice. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, and would recommend it. I also read Every Secret Thing by Laura Lippman. This book actually was turned into a movie that just came out, and it stars Dakota Fanning and Diane Lane. And I actually was able to see it on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now. And the movie was okay. The book, in my opinion, was better. It's a very interesting story. It's about 2 11-year-old girls who are kicked out of a birthday party, and on their way home they see a baby in a carriage just kind of on the sidewalk or on someone's porch, and they take the baby and something happens, and so they get sent to a juvenile detention center, and 7 years later they're released from there and things start happening again. I thought it was really good. I thought it dealt with a lot of issues that we face today, and it was enjoyable. It was a good story that kept me guessing. I had never read anything by Laura Lippman. I definitely want to read more of her books. I really liked her writing style, and I think I gave this one 4 stars. Those are the books I read before the Booktubeathon. Now I'm going to take you back through the Booktubeathon and show you what I read then. On day 1 of the Booktubeathon, I read Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher. This was for the challenge to read a book that has the author's same last name, starts with the same letter of your last name, which is P. And this book is about a girl who did something that she's very ashamed of, and so she starts writing to a prison inmate on death row and telling him her story, and it's kind of just a therapeutic thing for her. And you don't really know what happened at first you know what happened, but you don't know who or what, or really you don't know how all the details until the end. There was a lot of building up, but then when it got to the end, I was kind of just, I felt like it was a little bit lackluster. I enjoyed it, but it didn't meet my expectations, and I think I gave this one 3 stars. It was good, but it wasn't my favorite. Then on day 2, I think on day 2 I read Criers Cross. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I think I read Criers Cross next. But anyway, this is by Lisa McMahon. This is about a town called Criers Cross, and it's a very, very small town. Not very many people live there, and the kids all go to school in this one-room high school. And one day a girl goes missing from there, and people can't find her, and then someone else goes missing, and people just can't understand what is going on. And just a lot of strange things happen, and it went in a direction that I really wasn't expecting, and I was very surprised at the end of what happened. I thought it was really interesting. Definitely a unique story, something that I haven't read before. I did enjoy it. It's a short book. It's only a little bit more than 200 pages. I think I gave this one 4 stars. And this was for the challenge of a book that I most recently acquired. Then I read The End of Everything by Megan Abbott. This book is about 2 13-year-old girls who are best friends, next door neighbors, and one day one of them disappears. And the other one is left behind, and she is trying to kind of work through it. And I found it to be very interesting. It definitely went down a road that I am personally not comfortable with. It just dealt with some issues that I don't really enjoy reading about in books because it's just disturbing, and some things that are disturbing don't bother me, but other things do, and this one kind of got a little bit strange. But I did think her writing was excellent. She definitely does push the envelope, but I found it to be very interesting. Like I said, it was disturbing, but I didn't think it was so disturbing that I couldn't finish it. I think I gave it 4 stars as well. And this was for the book with blue on the cover. Then for the challenge of read a book without putting it down, I read 43 Old Cemetery Road Dying to Meet You by Kate Kleiss. And this was such a fun book. I really, really liked it. It didn't take me long, about an hour to read. It's almost all letters, illustrations. There are lots of fun things in this book. It's about a haunted house and an old man. He's an author, moves in, he's renting it, and he doesn't realize when he takes it for rent that there's a boy that lives up on the 3rd floor, and there's also a ghost that lives there. And it's just so fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It would be a great book for elementary school students. Even some middle school students would really like this. Nothing inappropriate. It wasn't really scary. It was just a fun story. It was actually pretty funny. And I think I gave this 4 stars as well. And for a book I really wanted to read, I chose Complicit by Stephanie Kuhn. I thought this book was pretty good. This book is about a boy who, his sister is accused of burning down a barn and goes to juvenile detention, and she's getting out. And that's basically all I want to say, because you want to go into this book not knowing much. The main character is narrating the book. So again, you have a male narrator, which I really liked. The main character, I really liked his character. And it's one of those books where you really aren't sure what's going on, and at the end everything kind of comes together, and it's a bit surprising. When I first finished it, I really, really liked it, but after processing it for just a day, I originally rated it 4 stars, but I dropped it down to 3 because it's not extremely memorable, and it was clever and interesting, but there wasn't anything extremely special about it, and it didn't quite go deep enough for me, or it didn't really, I don't know, there was just something lacking in it. So I gave it 3 stars, and I did enjoy it. It's like a psychological thriller, so I would recommend it. It wasn't as good as I expected it to be. Now for a book that I didn't expect to be good, but it turned out to be excellent, which is always a nice surprise. This is the book I chose for the Read Someone Else's Favorite Book. And I chose Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I just finished this tonight, and I went into this kind of kicking and screaming, not really wanting to read it because vampires aren't really my thing. I don't really care for paranormal, and it's so overhyped. A lot of times overhyped books I don't like, and I kind of feel like I hear about them so much I'm just sick of hearing about them. So I went into this just because I bought so many of these books because I got them for so cheap, and I wanted to see if I was going to like them, and if I didn't like them I was just going to take them all to the Goodwill and be done and have lots of shelf space. But I really liked this book. It was really good. I was surprised, and it moves really fast. It's a really interesting system with the vampires. There's different types of vampires and being in this boarding school, and the characters are interesting. Just everything about it was really fun. Nothing extremely inappropriate, which was another concern of mine. It really wasn't too bad in that way. I found it to be really an interesting story, and I'm really looking forward to reading the next one and the next one, and I've heard it only gets better from here, so I'm very excited. I actually gave this 4.5 stars. I would recommend it if you haven't read it yet. I think it's worth a chance, and I was surprised at how fast it moved too, because it is a different kind of system and a lot to learn, but I felt like it was so easy to catch on. The author does such a good job at explaining things, but she's taking you along for the ride as she's explaining them. You're not slowing down as you're learning. I feel like you're still going through this story quickly. So I really enjoyed it, would absolutely recommend it. And like I said, I give it 4.5 stars. Those are all the books that I've read so far on the Booktubeathon and before the Booktubeathon. And the book I'm going to read tomorrow, I'm going to wait till tomorrow. It's like my clock's back there. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to read Show of Hands by Anthony McCartan tomorrow. I was going to read another book, but it's a bit longer, and I want to be able to finish this one, because if I finish this one, it will be read 7 books in 7 days, which I've never done. So I'm really going to try to get this done. It's about the owner of a car dealership who is pretty desperate, so he decides to have a contest where people come and they have to put their hands on a car, and whoever is left standing wins a Land Rover. And so of course crazy things happen and people are really wanting to win, and it just sounds like it's gonna be really fun and enjoyable, and I just want something kind of lighthearted and easygoing, and so I'm hoping it'll be funny and fun, and we'll see. I guess I'll find out. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I also wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone for your kind words and your prayers and just everything you've said with all the things that I've been dealing with. It really means a lot to me that everyone is kind of being so supportive. It really does. Yeah, that's been good. I just really appreciate it. It was so nice to read all those comments and to see that people really care. It just means a lot. I'll be back again with another video at some point. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.